turned boxing to pussy. All right, man. And I got this idea watching that Coach Malachi channel, and he was talking about how Bud was talking about all the narratives about him didn't start until he went up to 47, you know, and you know, PBC fight, you know, they blackballed him. And once you think about PBC, it really made boxing putty cat. It really made boxing putty cat. It really did. It really made boxing putty cat, man. It made it Josie and the Pussycats. Because when you think about it, you know, Al Heyman motto, if you look at, you know, what he did with Andre Berto, was one of his real, you know, first acts, you know, on HBO. It was about fighting nobody for a lot of money. And that's what their whole business model was about. It wasn't that, you know, we gonna be our own boxing league and we gonna make the fights with us. No, it was about the easiest fights for the most money. It was simple as that. Oh, we don't believe in taking the tough fights. And even when you hear Mayweather, you know, he say the same thing. His message is got a lot of hypocrisy in it. One minute he's saying the young guys need to fight people, and then he's saying that, oh, they got time, they can wait and fight. You know, they don't need to rush it right now. You got time. Like, you know, that's pretty much the message. You know, and they moving how he actually was moving. But, you know, they turn these guys into businessmen. They turn these guys into straight pussies. They literally castrated their fighters. You know, they only had estrogen in their body. They literally castrated them boxing wise. They came up with the size of the streets. Earl was the one that created a lot of narratives about Terrence Crawford. Every narrative, it came from Earl and Derrick James in it. On that one night after Danny and Sean fight, after Sean beat Danny for WBC, wrong side of the street. Who has he beat? Who has he beat as good as Chris Algieri? And then, you know, he on the wrong side of the street. He on ESPN. I'm on Fox, whatever, Showtime. I'm not going over there. He got to come over here. You know, all these different narratives. Oh, he broke. Oh, you heard his own promoter say he don't sell. They created all these narratives. Oh, he ain't done that at the welterweight division. Get a title. He tried to fight Keith. Then, you know, all of a sudden Keith came up with excuses. You know, Earl, you know, said, you know, oh man, he get a belt. You know, I'll fight him if he get a belt. Then that turned into, I'm gonna go the easy route. Bro, they was pussies the whole way. All this business and picking and choosing and not fighting the best, that came from them. And a lot of fighters on other companies looking like they ain't fighting the best and they getting all this money. Why do I gotta work hard to get all this money? It's like, you know, being at the job. If you seeing somebody who ain't doing their job and showing up when they want to show up and they getting the same pay as you and they getting their check when you get your check and y'all, neither one of y'all advancing, come on. Why continue to work hard? Why continue to do your job and you see this person, you know, you've been there for years, you've been doing your job, been on time, did everything you were supposed to do. You know? So other fighters looked at that. Al raised the financial bar, but it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna raise the financial bar and we gonna, you know, we gonna do big fights. No, he raised the financial bar and these fighters didn't have to fight nobody. Pussy and boxing came from them. That's when boxing really got pussy. You know, you can historically trace it back to dudes throwing their belts in the trash can, and you can go through a lot of different things. Kermit Cintron Kermit Cintron jumping through the ropes because he didn't want to fight Paul Williams. Bernard talking about my shoulder. Yeah, you had those isolated incidents in the sport of boxing. You sure did. but on the level of a whole promotional company, TV show, whatever you want to say. And not only did it become infectious and they create talking points, they had fanboys who just was coming into boxing who knew absolutely nothing, because when they disappeared, how many dudes you see disappeared in boxing? Michael Clark Duncan, aka John Coffey, that motherfucker selling that motherfucker out here selling Ozempic and shit. That's just tell you something about him. And just people say, oh man, he big and he that, man, fuck, they scared of that weak ass nigga fuck. Size don't mean nothing, bro. Trust and believe me. Because you can see the bitch in him. Real men don't operate how he operate. You know what I'm saying? It's Sandwich Boy, Jabba the Hutt, as Coach Malachi called him. He was scared of that nigga, man. I don't know why. He was around here telling people he can't fight. If you get into a fight, man, I just gonna grab and hold. Yeah, I know. That nigga can't fight. So you allow this dude to take over, and that had a lot to do with it too. They fed off the fighters' narrative to protect themselves, and then, they created narratives. Unfortunately, their whole thing was we here for black fighters. That was a whole face lie. That was a whole lie. That was a whole lie. They wasn't here for black fighters. They was here for their vested interest financially, like PBC fighters was. And at the end of the day, from guys that watched boxing for multiple decades, we knew it wasn't going to be sustainable. We knew if you coddled and you babysitted, or you held these dudes' hands and you protected them, one day they would get exposed. And that's what happened to all of them. Danny, Sean, Terrence, Keith, Jamil, Jamal, they were going to get exposed. Inside, outside the ring, in some cases both. Adrian, Broner, and Gervonta Tank Davis just doing God's work himself and exposing himself. And exposing his insecurities. Only thing left for him to do is just, retire and not retire. But the pussy in boxing started with them. They pussy-fied boxing. And when other fighters seen and other companies seen they getting all this money not to make big fights, everybody followed suit. This is why they got kicked off NBC. This is why they got kicked off Spike. This is why they got kicked off HBO, kicked off Showtime, kicked off Fox, kicked off Fox Sports, kicked off ESPN. You can't be in a fan-funded company and not give the fans what they want. And then you can't. How can I explain this? You can't. How can I explain this? And then when the money break bad, you can't tell these guys to take a pay cut. Because when the money broke bad, and now you got to kill what you eat, you got to eat what you kill, then guess what happened? Inflation hit. The pandemic hit. Inflation hit like crack in the 80s hit. They started that shit. They started the wrong side of the street. They started, you had to sign over here. You had to sign over here to fight us. They started we the A side. They started we the A side, regardless if we got more money or less money. They started that. They started it. All this whole shit that you see in the sport of boxing, they started. Belts don't matter. Undisputed don't matter. Oh, we not gonna recognize the WBO. Most of the whole trends you see in boxing today, they started. They started. Most of the whole trends that they started, they started. They started. I'm gonna say about 90% of them, probably even higher. They started that shit. They really did. And it is what it is. But look where it got the company. On the brink of its 10th year, it's an extinction. And they don't change. The tiger don't change the stripes, neither does the zebra. Even when they desperate and they need money, and what was best to do for Sebastian Fondor was allow him to fight Terrence Crawford, they still didn't do it. They still didn't do it. They still didn't do it. They said, we gonna sit here and we gonna rob you of a high-paying payday to do it our way. They want to have the power and the control, but no money. That don't work. Only in them thug love Pookie stories and books and that shit work. And when it's all said and done, the night that they really got exposed for being pussy, and it's always been like going back to Murder on HBO, Mayweather running for Manny Pacquiao, we can go on and on and on. But the night that's highlighted, and when people go really back, they'll say, man, these niggas was pussy, some hoes, they wore skirts, they wore big t-shirts with panties on in the bed. The night that exposed that, with Earl Spence getting up there, looked like he was drunk, you know, talk about the size of the streets, and Crawford ain't fought nobody, Bob won't give it to me, I'm not going over there. Who is he beat as good as Chris Algieri? He put a target on his back. Before that, the target was only on Keith Thurman's back, if you remember. He put a target on his back. He put a target on his back. He became the target. He became the prey. It's a fact. That's the night. And then what the icing on the cake was is when he pressed him in Oklahoma City at the Hooker Cesados fight. I'm gonna go the easy route. Like every real person that know anything about body language, that been in the streets, they got any real social skills in the world, knew that Earl Spence didn't want that fight. Earl Spence is the poster child. When you talk about pussy PPC, he the poster child of it. But hey, let me know what y'all think, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, cash out $CJ